"Don't cry, mister. You can borrow my mum." The tiny voice cut through the cold evening wind like a warm beam of light. The CEO froze, wiping his face quickly, as if trying to erase the evidence of his breaking moment. He hadn't expected anyone to see him like these, especially not a little boy holding a half-melted chocolate ice cream and wearing mismatched gloves. But the boy's eyes were so honest, so full of innocent concern, that the CEO couldn't help but stare. And before he could stop it, something deep inside him cracked open again. He never cried in public. Never. Not even at his father's funeral. Not even when his marriage ended. Not even when he lost the person he loved most. CEOs weren't supposed to break. They were supposed to lead, to push, to win. But tonight, sitting alone on that park bench of the same park where he used to come with his mother decades ago, the loneliness finally swallowed him whole. It was supposed to be a quiet moment, far from cameras and meetings and decisions. But grief had its own schedule. The little boy stepped closer, worry on his small round face. "Mister, you okay?" "My mum hugs me when I cry. She says crying means you're strong inside." He gently placed his tiny gloved hand on the CEO's arm. Something about that simple touch of the innocence of a child showing compassion without knowing anything about him sent a wave of warmth through the CEO's chest. The CEO swallowed the tightness in his throat and managed a whisper, "I think your mum is very wise." The boy grinned. "Yeah, she's the wisest in the whole world. Do you want me to go get her?" "She's right there." He pointed to a woman jogging slowly along the path, her hair tied back, her face glowing with a warm smile even from afar. A woman who radiated kindness, and not the rehearsed, polite kind, but the sort that came naturally because she had known struggle, broken by and survived. The CEO shook his head. "No, buddy, I'll be fine. Just a broken bar, tough day at work." The boy frowned thoughtfully. "Mom says grown-ups pretend to be strong until they explode. She says they need people too. You look like you need someone today." The CEO looked into the boy's eyes and felt a lump forming. He didn't even know how to explain that the reason he cried wasn't about work. It was because he received a call earlier that morning at his mother's old house. The house he grew up in was finally being sold by the bank. The last piece of her, the last place that held her laughter, her cooking, her stories. And he wasn't even there when she passed away. He was busy being important. The boy sat down beside him, swinging his legs. "My name's Ian. What's yours?" "Daniel," the CEO replied. "Hi, Daniel," the boy said cheerfully, as if they were old friends already. "Do you want to see something cool? I can whistle like a bird." He puffed his cheeks and attempted a whistle that sounded more like a tiny sneeze. Daniel let out a small laugh, for the first in days. The boy lit up. "You laughed?" "Mom says laughter is medicine." Just then, the boy's mother approached. She slowed down, noticing the tear marks on Daniel's face. With gentle concern, she asked her son, "Ian, everything okay?" The boy nodded. "Yeah." Daniel was crying, "so I let him borrow you." She blinked in surprise at her son's honesty, then turned to Daniel with soft eyes. "Are you alright? Do a broken bar need anything?" Daniel almost said number. Rejecting help had become automatic. But something about her tone, near calm, genuine, human, made him open his mouth instead. Actually, a broken bar. I think I just needed a moment." "It's been a broken bar, a heavy day." She sat down, not too close but close enough to show she cared. "Sometimes the strongest people have the heaviest days," she said. "You don't have to explain. Just breathing through it is enough." Daniel nodded slowly. Something inside him loosened. He had spent years surrounded by people, employees, executives, board members, yet not one of them ever noticed when he wasn't okay. But these two strangers did in seconds. Ian tugged his mother's sleeve. "Can we invite Daniel to dinner? You said we should help sad people." "He's sad." She hesitated. "Sweetheart, we don't even know." "I'd love to," Daniel said suddenly, shocking even himself. And that dinner changed everything. Their apartment was small but full of life. Toys scattered, warm lights, the smell of chicken curry simmering. It felt like home, something Daniel hadn't felt in years. He learned that Ian's mom, Hanaya worked 2 jobs. That Ayan's father passed away 2 years earlier. That they struggled, but they loved fiercely. Daniel found himself smiling as the boy chattered non-stop, showing him his drawings and silly tricks. At one point, Hanaya stepped into the kitchen and Daniel followed quietly. "Thank you," he said softly, "for letting me be here." She turned, surprised by the sincerity in his voice. "You're welcome." You looked like someone who needed a place to feel human again. No one had ever said that to him. For weeks, Daniel kept visiting the park. Some days just to sit with Ayan, some days to talk to Hanaya. The boy became a tiny sunshine in his otherwise mechanical life. And Hanaya, she became the reason he started taking care of himself again. Daniel found himself wanting to live a broken bar, not just work. One evening, when Daniel didn't show up, Ayan worried. "Mom, what if he's crying alone?" Hanaya texted Daniela only because her son insisted. Minutes later, he replied, "I'm okay. Just thinking, can I see you both tomorrow?" Ayan jumped with joy. But when tomorrow came, Daniel appeared with a small box. He knelt before Ayan. "But your broken bar, remember how you let me borrow your mum that day?" Ayan nodded proudly. Daniel smiled gently. "Well, a broken bar, if it's okay with you, a broken bar, I'd like to return her. And maybe a broken bar, maybe borrow her again sometimes. But this time a broken bar, not because I'm sad, but because I want to build something happier with both of you." Ayan blinked. "So broken bar, you want to be my uncle?" Daniel laughed through tears. "Maybe even more than that, if your mom says yes." Hanaya covered her mouth, tears forming. "Daniela, broken bar, are you sure?" "For the first time in my life," he whispered, "I'm sure of something that actually matters." The boy hugged him tightly. "You can borrow us forever." Months later, Daniel bought back his mother's old house and turned it into a home for Thema, a place filled with laughter, warmth, second chances, and the love he never knew he needed. And the message that pulls viewers to the end of your video: sometimes, the family you lose leads you to the family you're meant to find. And sometimes a broken bar, one little boy with a big heart saves a man who thought he couldn't be saved.